to start off with, and I don't know if Aaron, you want to dive into his list more so than AJ's list, but I want to go into number 8 on your list in Cooper Kupp, who just received a massive payday as we were about to go live on the show. We didn't have it in our top stories. It happened right as we were getting everything going, but he got an $80 million extension, including $75 million guaranteed over the next 3 years. You have it number 8. Are you confident that we'll see the same or similar Cooper Kupp value like we saw in 2021?
No, and it's not because that was a crazy year last year, right? I mean, every year one athlete has an outlier year. Whether it's Calvin Johnson with his 1900, whatever that year that he went stupid, he was still a great receiver in the league. And I mean, Cooper Kupp, this year I think was an outlier for him. Yes, everything worked well. He had Matthew Stafford. This is a guy who's battled injuries throughout his career. He finally stayed healthy last year. What are you saying? What are you saying here, kid?
Stop. This is what we're going to get into. We're going to get in hot and heavy right now with the show, because you did this on Monday's show. We were watching it together. Aaron pointed it out. You have this, and we'll either pull the curtain back or whatever. You have this skill of yours that
it's not a skill. It's a tendency.
You have a tendency of yours that you will put a player high or say something good about a player, but then tear them back down. You have him at number 8. That's not bad for Cooper Kupp. If Cooper Kupp finishes as the 8, if he finishes in the top 10 again, that's good. So what I'm trying to find out from you is why you think he's going to be able to do this again, because
so you were saying why was he 8?
He's not in my top 10. If I were to have been on that show with you guys on Monday, he would have not been in my top 10. He may be in the top 20. I know you guys talked about Davante Adams, who I think Davante Adams, I'd have Davante Adams in my top 10 over Cooper Kupp, but that's beside the point.
No, it's not. That's not beside the point. It's not beside the point. Why the hell is Adams in there and not Kupp?
You want me to tell you why? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Cooper Kupp has had in his career 2 good seasons. Seasons where he's finished in the top 10 at the position. Not top 10 overall, top 10 at the position. Davante Adams has had 6. That's why. That's the difference.
You can't apply that same logic there, Aaron.
You can't apply the same logic because Davante Adams is still a number 1 receiver. He's still getting thrown the ball to by a very dependable quarterback with not really many other weapons on the team. You could talk about Hunter Renfrow.
Hunter Renfrow had a great year last year. Darren Waller's the beast.
Because he was the only one there. So now are we talking? Now are we saying that Hunter Renfrow's a number 1 receiver? Because he was the only guy. Because he was the only guy that Derek Carr had to throw to. Darren Waller actually didn't have a great year last year. Davante Adams is clearly the number 1 receiver in the NFL and has been for the past 5 to 6 seasons.
Weapons is just asinine.
I didn't say they aren't weapons. I said we're talking about the level of weapons. And Cooper Kupp had 191 targets last year.
Yeah, that's not happening
insane.
Again.
You know what I think?
That's the point. Is it's not going to happen again. He had his best year of his career, and it was an amazing year. But there is, no matter what, he's going to regress to the means.
So let me slide in here and ask you a question, Aaron, real quick, with maybe the X's and O's sides of things. With Cooper Kupp and what he did this season, we obviously talked about how it wasn't new that the slot wide receiver position was doing good, but it was new that a slot wide receiver was just as dominant as what Cooper Kupp was last season. I see going into 2022, a lot of teams are going to now they have the blueprints on Cooper Kupp. They know what Cooper Kupp does. They know what the Rams want to do with Cooper Kupp in the slot. I think more teams are going to be dialing in on Cooper Kupp. And I know, and I see Bailey brought it up in the chat about Robert Woods not being there and whether or not you trust Allen Robinson. I don't think Allen Robinson has done anything to not. I know he had that bad year last year with Justin Fields and that mess of an offense, but I personally don't think Allen Robinson has done anything to where you can't trust him as a wide receiver 2 in that offense and as another weapon for Matthew Stafford there to take away from Cooper Kupp, which with the combination of teams now scheming for Cooper Kupp and the addition of Allen Robinson, I don't see a top 10 year there. I just don't.
I don't think the addition of Allen Robinson really changes anything.
Yeah.
I think Robert Woods was adequate enough. Then after Robert Woods went down, Odell Beckham was there, who was good enough to be considered that number 2 guy. But to your point, it is about the scheme. It's about teams now saying, you know what? We let Cooper Kupp beat us last year because we were saying that's what we're going to give up. We don't want him to beat us outside. We don't want to give up certain things. We'll give him the middle of the field. But he did. He beat him. So now you say as a defensive coordinator, I'm going to do everything I can to take that away, and you're going to have to beat us another way. It's not saying that Cooper Kupp's going to get stopped. It's saying that Cooper Kupp's going to have to find other ways to make his game work. And in doing that, it's going to take a little bit of his targets away. They're going to go to Allen Robinson. They're going to go to Van Jefferson. They're going to go to Tyler Higbee. Cam Akers is back fully. They get some work out of the backfield. And I think overall, the Rams are a complete football team. So that's why his workload's going to come down. It's not that Cooper Kupp isn't good. It's just that he is not that guy that you say one-on-one on the outside, I can throw him the ball when he's covered. They don't do that. He's a guy who gets into space, and when he's open, you throw him the ball. So I think that's the difference between him and a Davante Adams. When Derek, he's just going to throw it to Davante Adams, and he'll make the catches. That's what's going to happen. And we talk about chemistry all the time. The reason Cooper Kupp was so good last year is because when he came in, the first person he started, or when Stafford came in, they had the chemistry. They're the ones that were working together. They got on the same page, and they developed that chemistry. Derek Carr and Davante Adams have had chemistry their entire life. They're like best friends. And that stuff matters in many aspects. Vinny likes to point to it, but I can tell you for a fact, as somebody who played the receiver position, it matters between a quarterback and a wide receiver. It absolutely does. The timing, knowing where to be, trusting that guy, it matters. And I don't think that's going to change from Aaron Rodgers to Derek Carr. The skill might change a little bit. There's going to be throws that Derek Carr can't make that Aaron Rodgers could, but I think that chemistry will still be there. Cooper Kupp should be the 3rd wide receiver off the board, the 3rd in fantasy, and it's outside the top 10.
You played wide receiver?
Yes, I played wide receiver.
So that's Justin Jefferson, Davante Adams, and then Cooper Kupp?
It's what?
Justin Jefferson, Davante Adams, not in no particular order for those two, but Davante Adams, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp.
And
That's
Cooper
your
Kupp,
first
yes.
3 off the board.
Yes.
And do you think Cooper Kupp returns the value of that 3rd wide receiver off the board?
Yeah, if you're not dumb enough to take him with that number, 9 or 10 pick.
So what's your line for Cooper? Let me ask.
He's not. Put it this way: Cooper Kupp will not be available after first rounds because everybody's going to take Cooper Kupp in the first round. So in that case, he will not return the value of where you're going to draft him.
Okay.
This might be stupid. Michael Thomas, when Michael Thomas was not this year, but what I'm saying, when Michael Thomas had his big year, he was a 1st round guy. Or do you think that's a similar drop off that Kupp's going to have?
I think Michael Thomas' situation was a little bit different when you start to account injuries and, the talent for Michael Thomas was there. But again, very similar style player. These guys aren't game-breaking players. So Cooper Kupp's game of 7 catches, 80 yards, that's cool. But when Davante Adams gets 7 catches, it's 7 catches, 120 and 2 touchdowns. So those games are going to be harder to come by for Cooper Kupp than they are those big name wide receivers like a Justin Jefferson and a Davante Adams.